Okay, so this is election day for local government in Western Australia. According to Stephen, we are probably going to get some results tomorrow morning. So, well, Stephen, how are you feeling about it? Are you confident about a possible victory?
I wouldn't say confident, but calm and collected regardless of the result. It's been a fun experience, and it's been very beneficial to the White Australia cause, just simply to stand. So win, lose, or go nowhere, it's certainly been a positive experience. So I'm quite happy regardless of the outcome.
So look, I'm sure you'd be a candidate who would go out there and shake hands. What has the reception been like from the people in Busselton?
Well, I haven't sort of done a proper campaign just due to the amount of vilification and hysteria pushed by the mainstream media and the left. But I've done 2 Meet the Candidates events, and they were both very positive, and had quite a few people coming up afterwards and shaking my hand and wishing me well and saying that they would support me. The Meet the Candidates event is probably only a small fraction of the community, so I don't know if that will translate to the volume of votes that I'll need, but it's certainly been encouraging to get just generally positive feedback from people.
So look, you mentioned the media scare campaign. To me, it looked like that was maybe more intense the last time you ran for council, and it got very dirty. An interview that I did with you actually was pulled into the media, where you were talking about your article on nationalists running for council. It got so dirty that they even dragged your wife into it. I mean, why did you come back for more?
Well, once you've experienced the worst that they can throw at you, you can't really experience anything worse again, can you? So you've already done it. You've already been exposed. You've already had the hits. It's kind of silly to then give up, because then they've won. So once they've thrown all the worst that they can throw at you, then, well, you may as well go hard, or go even harder, because they've already tried to ruin your life. The only thing that's really left is lay down and die or fight back. So I chose to fight back.
So how did the media campaign compare to the last time you ran?
It was interesting because they seemed originally to be trying to not give me any coverage at all. They seemed to be trying to go the other way and just completely ignore me. But that failed because 4 of the candidates decided to boycott the Meet the Candidates event and put out a press release saying that the reason that they were boycotting it was because they allowed me to attend. And so then the media had no choice but to publicise these candidates who'd boycotted me. And so that became very interesting in and of itself, because they ended up having no choice but to sort of vilify me without going as hard as they went last time. But at the same time, still bringing up all the same stupid points like self-described, homophobe, racist, and all the rest of it. So yeah, it was interesting. It wasn't full on.
I should tell viewers that this interview was supposed to actually be conducted indoors, and because of unforeseen circumstances, we've had to do it outside.
Near the train. We're near the train because it reminds us of all of the stabbings in Europe at train stations. Last time it was all in one go within a couple of days, and then nothing much after that. This time it's sort of been gradually just digs here and there, and just more bits of news just sort of trickled through, but generally instigated by other people that the media have had to respond to, rather than the media sort of having a full hit piece campaign on its own. So not quite as intense, but more long lasting.
So were there any other attempts, like not just by the media, but say anti-far political organisations, to stifle your campaign?
So there was a big sort of leaflet campaign that somebody paid loads of money for, that went in letterboxes everywhere saying don't vote for him, he's a Nazi. which was kind of cool because I couldn't afford to run any leaflets myself. So I would like to thank those people for publicising me and spending all their money to try and get me elected. That meant I didn't have to spend any money of my own. Other than that, there was the Gay Pride Alliance ran their own hit piece, and had a few shenanigans from the LGBTQ mob, sort of trying to dox my address and stuff, which we just reported to the police and then didn't think any more of it. But yeah, it's been fairly tame. Mainly, it's just been easier this time because we were ready for it. So previous time, we kind of knew that they would come after me. We just weren't prepared for the extent that they would come after me. This time we were ready for anything, and we decided just to let them advertise me, and that's been a pretty good strategy.
So, I mean, last time what you were kind of most criticised for was running for council with a hidden agenda. You had a far-right agenda, and you were encouraging other people to just keep it all a secret, and then, once you're in power, you can basically, implement your final solution.
Yes, gas chambers in every toilet.
Yes, but this time, to read off your campaign leaflet, you said, I assert that Australians have been lied to about climate change, COVID, the LGBTQ agenda, multiculturalism, so-called Aboriginal land rights, and the Second World War. So this time, I don't think anyone could possibly accuse you of covering things up.
They did. They accused me of not mentioning that I was a member of the NSN, so I'll have to rectify that next time.
Okay. But I mean, did you do that on purpose? Were you just completely 100% honest about everything this time?
Yeah, I figured. Well, see, the point was I wasn't talking about myself when I was advising other people. It was more of the case of the people who were too scared to put their hand up for council for a fear of being doxed. I was basically, the idea was, look, no one's going to know what your views are on national politics. Go in and get some experience in local politics, because no one's going to care what your national views are because it's about local issues. So that was the point I was trying to make, and obviously they twisted it to say that he's trying to get in, on this secret agenda because I didn't mention what my global politics were in the local election. But I mean,
but who does?
Who does? Exactly. So this time I thought, all right, well, they're going to go and shout out what my national politics are anyway, and they're going to make it all about that. They're going to do that, not me. So I may as well just beat them to the punch and say, well, okay, well, here you are. I'm a Nazi, and take it or leave it. And I want a white Australia policy. I think climate change is bullshit and all the rest of it. And yeah, so people can make of that what they will. But I figured, well, if the press are going to make it all about my national and international views, then I may as well run with it. So I did.
So, to your knowledge, do members of the Greens and other, more radical left groups, do they still implement that strategy of, hiding their actual political agenda and running for council, and then doing things like, having a Invasion Day instead of an Australia Day, or a day of mourning or something like that?
Well, they don't hide it so much anymore, but I mean, they're never upfront about it. Yeah. But everything's now caged in Orwellian language, of course. I support diversity, or I value all people, or I'm all for sustainability. They crouch their intentions in weird language, but I think everyone's at the point now where you can spot a greenie or a tranny or a commie a mile off. So I think I saw on one council election, not the one I was in, but somewhere else, someone pointed out to me, someone had upfront said, I am a member of the Communist Party, which was refreshing. But yeah, pretty much all of the commies in the Busselton election, they don't sort of openly go, I'm wanting to destroy Australia through multiculturalism. You just have to sort of pick that out.
So, speaking strictly about local government issues, what were the issues that you focused on?
Well, to me, I'm not there for dog beaches or all of the other things that people were, getting hysterical over. Obviously, that's what I'll end up doing if I get elected. But I basically said to people, look, I'm there because of the international treaties that get actioned at local council level. So things like smart cities, which is basically a globalist intention to enslave everybody, with turning off your air conditioning remotely from miles away, or 15-minute cities to dictate when you can use your car and that kind of stuff. So that all gets implemented through local bylaws, which you have very, very little control over, because they're basically treaties that the federal government has signed. The local bureaucrats basically get told, this is your job, this is what you have to do, and local councils have very, very little power to stop them. But even if we don't have power to stop them, we can at least try and mitigate the worst aspects of them. And, when they're steamrolling over us, we can at least make a stink and let the community know. And so I basically said to people that, look, I'm not there to change anything because I'm just one person. But the fight back has to start somewhere. So, vote for me and then join me in the fight.
Right. So, Hannah Beasley, she is the Minister for Local Government here in Western Australia. She has flagged the possibility of making voting in council elections compulsory. She's also talked about the prospect of 4-year terms. This seems to be in direct response to radicals. In fact, she did actually mention extremists. She mentioned you. She mentioned Tamara Freeman as well. If your, legacy is compulsory council elections, I mean, would that be something to be proud of?
Well, I'd be proud that just to get any communist or daughter of a communist and daughter of a fat slob to be triggered that way. But yeah, I mean, pretty much anything they do to try and in reaction to us is only going to backfire. I mean, people don't vote in council elections for a reason, and if you then force them to do something they don't want to do, they're generally going to react by doing everything else that you don't want to do as well. So perhaps vote for people like me. If that's the reason they're being told that they have to vote is to stop extremism, it's more likely that the people who don't want to vote will vote for extremists just to piss off the government and hope that they reverse their decision to make everybody vote.
So you think it would backfire?
I think anything they try and do to stop us backfires.
Right.
They can't fight fair, they can't win an argument, and so they try dirty tactics, but dirty tactics always backfire. So they'd be better off just trying to improve their arguments and actually have policies that were good and helpful to Australia. But of course they can't do that either, because they're all paid for by corrupt globalists, and they're all basically whores. So when you're a whore, eventually the world's going to come crashing down on you no matter what you do.
Right. So we're talking about local councils. When they have been in the news in the past couple of years, it tends to be because of dysfunction, mismanagement of funds, mass resignations. Do you have a view on why that is?
Oh, just basically because the only people, lots of places, nobody's interested in politics, and the people who are interested in politics shouldn't be in politics is generally the answer. Busselton seems functional. We'll see what happens after this election. We'll see what happens if I get in, how functional it remains. But yeah, I mean, you're dealing with egotistical people who virtue signal about wanting to help the community, but really it's just about their own ego most of the time. So yeah, that's obviously going to lead to lots of situations where heads knock together and things don't function well.
Right. So do you still advocate for other nationalists to run at the council level rather than Parliament?
I advocate for both, but we've got to start somewhere, and it's probably easier to start at a local council election, because it only costs you $100 to register to run. You don't need a party machine behind you. You don't even need to spend money on signage and all the rest of it, because you basically get to write what you think and why you're running, and it's on the ballot paper, so you literally get free advertising. And most people don't look anymore beyond the ballot paper and what's written underneath each candidate before they choose who to vote for. So you've really got nothing to lose, and if you get 4% of the vote, you get your $100 back. So for that reason alone, anybody who is worried about this country should stand for local council, especially if you are a white person, because every other community goes hard for local elections. I was driving past my son's house earlier today in a different electorate, and his electorate's got an influx of people from India.
Yeah, I was about to mention the Indians.
Yeah, I mean there was just like half of the faces on the billboards that had been stuck around everywhere were Indian faces, and I don't blame the Indians for doing that. I blame the whites for not doing the same. So, white people need to do what other cultures know, is that if you want your interests represented, you need to stand up, and stand up first at local parliament and local councils. Otherwise, we're going to have a Pakistani mayor for our major cities, and we're going to have an Indian prime minister, just like England, before it's too late.
That's right. This question is not in my notes here, but I did remember earlier that you said you had a third book on the way. Is there anything you'd like to tell us about that?
Yeah, so the third book is out. It's called The Real Nazis. You can get it from Amazon, along with my other two books. And yeah, it's basically a story of my journey to becoming a Nazi. It's a story about what happened to me in jail, and how I landed in jail. And most of all, it's a story about the hypocrisy of the government and all of the things that they accuse us of, and they accuse so-called Nazis of, and just pretty much just giving example after example of how all of the things that Nazis are supposed to have done over the generations, that we're supposed to be going to do in the future, that the government are already doing all of these things to people now.
All right. Well, Stephen, thank you very much for your time tonight, and best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.